Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsy's Guitar World. In today's video I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this rather nice looking guitar. But first of all, let's listen to it. So what is this guitar? Well, this guitar is an ORVILLE, made in Japan. I believe this one is made by Fujigen. The serial number is 612274, which I believe to be 1996. So this is an ORVILLE Joe Perry Les Paul. So they are allowed to put Les Paul in it because they are officially, or they were officially licensed Gibson copies made in Japan, but under the brand name ORVILLE. So essentially this fine guitar here is the ORVILLE version of the Joe Perry Les Paul, which came out in 1996. I think the first run was 1996 and it was like a limited custom shop run, the first few, maybe 200 or something like that. Didn't make that many of them. So those are pretty expensive, those ones. And they must have started making these at the Fujigen factory at the same time. But obviously these are a damn sight cheaper than the Gibson custom shop version. So let's have a quick look at the specs of this guitar, have a closer look on my workbench, which doubles as my kitchen work surface. So there it is on the workbench. I really do like this finish, how you can see the grain underneath that. It's called Trans Black Burst. I believe now it's an ABR bridge, ABR1 bridge there, just like a Gibson Les Paul. These pickups, we will have a closer look at these in a minute, but these are not the original pickups. Someone has changed these out. So ebony fingerboard, there's a bit of mark there just underneath where the fingerboard is, but I don't think it's nothing serious as far as I can tell. So ebony fingerboard, big frets, the medium jumbos anyway. It's in good condition, just polished them, didn't really have to do that much. The fingerboard's in very good condition. Of course ebony's a bit harder than other woods, so yeah, it's worn well, it's worn well. Inlays all very nice. So Les Paul, the Les Paul model, and the truss rod cover is that kind of ivory type thing. So let's look at the pickups. What are they? Oh look, it has a long neck tenon as well. So these are EPIPHONE pickups, and I will let you see the output of them in a minute, but these are super high output EPIPHONE pickups. I believe they are EPIPHONE, I will check my notes here, they are EPIPHONE Ceramic Pro humbuckers. Yes, very high output, so those are not original to the guitar. So other outs are pretty neat. Say long tenon, traditional. Does it make it sound any better? I couldn't say for sure. And again, EPIPHONE pickups. So somebody just put a set of these in. They got, I think these came in the EPIPHONE Classics or something like that. But yeah, I mean, they sound okay, but we'll get to the sound test in a bit. So I do like that, that's what they look like. Let's have a look at the measurement. So that is the bridge, 17.38. So yeah, super high output. Neck is 10.1 and the middle position is 6.39. Now let's look at the cavity. Now I was quite surprised to see many pots in there. I don't know if they're original to the guitar, but I expect they were. I was just surprised they were like mini pots. Nothing wrong with them, but I was just surprised. So there's the hardware made in Japan, tailpiece, and the bridge. A bit tarnished, as you can see. So these would have been originally all black. All the hardware on is black. Now there is a crack there. Now that looks way worse on this film than it does in person. I don't think that's an open crack in the headstock at all. It looks worse here. I think that's just a finish crack there. I've tried to put pressure on it and it doesn't open up. It says the serial number 612274 Grover machine heads, black ones. So yeah, I mean, it does look worse than it actually is. I think it just depends how you catch it in the light. But like I say, I put pressure on it and it seemed fine. So yes, someone has changed the pickups in this out to those EPIPHONE Hot Ceramic humbuckers. How do they sound? Well, there was a sound sample in the beginning, but let's listen to some cleaner and some more overdriven sounds. I'm kind of 50-50 on these at the moment. I think they sound pretty good, but I don't know if it's maybe just a little bit much. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let's listen to some more sounds. So I do think they sound good. I think the neck's quite, it's got a hollow, kind of throaty sound. The bridge, I don't know, is there enough definition in it? What did you think in that sound sample? Like I say, I'm 50-50 on these. I may be changing these out to something else. I'm not 100% sure yet. So it's a very nice guitar, I have to say. And it is damn sight cheaper than the Gibson version. It's not the heaviest Les Paul I own, but it's not the lightest Les Paul I own either. Let's look at the specs of the neck, because I read the Gibson ones are like a big 58 style neck, but this is not a big 58 style neck to my feel. Let's have a quick look at the specs, the width and the neck profile. Now the other strange thing about this is the ebony fingerboard. From what I could see, Gibson ones tended to have rosewood fingerboards. I'm not entirely sure why that would be, why the ORVILLE one would have that specification, but the Gibson one wouldn't. I've seen different ones. I have seen some Gibson ones with an ebony board, but I'm not sure if those are like the original custom shop run or not. I like an ebony fingerboard. Do I think it makes any difference to the sound? I don't really. I just think they look good. They look quite good like that, dark against the inlays. So I have owned a couple of Joe Perry Les Pauls before. They were both Burnie ones and they were heavier than this one. Do I think the ORVILLE one is better than the Burnie ones I've had? I think it is. I think it feels a little bit better. I don't know what it is. The ORVILLE ones, like I say, have the ebony fingerboard, but the Burnie ones did not either. So I don't know if that make a difference to you. Do you prefer an ebony fingerboard or a rosewood fingerboard? But I don't know. I just think the neck shape is slightly different on this one from the Burnie ones that I've owned. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just sort of prefer this one. Maybe just because it actually has Les Paul written on it, I don't know. But it is a nice guitar, I have to say. The pickups, I don't know, maybe get changed at some point in time, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on what you think of them. They are very, very high output pickups. So for the end of the video, I have done another jam. My apologies in advance, folks. I'll be wailing away over some backing track that I found. So I do hope that's reasonably enjoyable. As ever, folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsy's Guitar World. Cheers for now.